Alright, so today we're here to talk about Avengers Infinity War. Or Infinity War, not Affinity, because we're not playing Magic currently. Hi, my name is Justin.
Dylan.
Barrett.
Connor.
And we are a small game group in Alabama. And we're thinking about
Tell
starting
them
to...
our location, why don't you?
Well, you know, we live in Halifax, God. So we're all really big nerds. I mean, that's, I think, an understatement. Like, I've been reading comic books since I could read. Dylan, you're a math nerd, engineer.
I'm a smart guy, as one of my coworkers says.
And then...
I'm into video games.
And I've been stuck with you since childhood, so basically I learned everything you did.
Yeah, for those unaware, Connor and I are brother and sister. But yeah, we're a small game group from Alabama. We want to make this a regular thing where we do a podcast maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. But to start off, as a proof of concept, Infinity War just came out last week. So, that's the biggest thing. Yeah, we had to go see it. We didn't go see it opening night.
No.
We like 2 days later. So, we all saw it Saturday. We're recording on Wednesday. So, it's been 3.5 days since we've seen it. But we have some thoughts. So, before we get into spoiler territory, we're going to do a spoiler-free impression. So, Dylan, what did you think about the movie?
I thought it was completely phenomenal. In my opinion, it's the best Marvel movie of all of them. Well, granted, I haven't seen the very first Hulk, but does that one really count?
Well, yeah, that one wasn't actually done by Marvel Studios either.
We don't talk about that one.
What about the original Hulk movies?
Shut up. Unless that was the one you're talking about. You're talking about like Ang Lee's Hulk or the Edward Norton.
The one that plot-wise comes right before the Incredible Hulk.
Why can't we just do
Oh,
it
yeah.
right
You're talking about the original with like Eric Bana as Bruce Banner. Yeah, that one doesn't exist. That one didn't happen. The 2003 Hulk movie where like he's fighting gamma dogs.
I thought you were talking about Lou Ferrigno as
Yeah.
Hulk.
I thought it was pretty good.
I'm Jonathan, by the way. I won't be here the whole time, and I will interject occasionally.
Until he leaves.
Random guest appearance. But I think it was pretty good. 9.5.
So, like, any thoughts about the movie?
I mean,
without getting the spoiler territory.
I think good chemistry between the actors.
Well, they have been working together for years.
Like 10 years almost.
But I mean, there's generally speaking some drama. Didn't seem much.
It was a fun movie, and it was full, and we couldn't talk. But I can't really say anything without going into spoiler territory, though.
Yeah, like, I'm almost in your boat where I don't want to say too much because this is the part where we're trying to stay spoiler free. Don't worry, we are about to, after I'm done talking in this little monologue, we're gonna just go off on this movie. I loved it. It's not, unlike Dylan, like, it's not my favorite Marvel movie. My favorite Marvel movie. Yeah, my favorite Marvel movie was Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Still,
Same.
like, it's still best Marvel movie for me. It was a fantastic movie. I think it was definitely worth the 10 years of movie hype.
And building up to it.
And yeah, it was fantastic.
I would say it's worth the money to go see.
But you do have to watch every movie at least once.
I mean, you
except
have,
for Black Panther, you don't really have to watch that one.
Well, you have to know about
Wakanda built up.
Yeah, like, that's not really a spoiler that Wakanda's in the movie. It's in the trailers.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you have to know about Wakanda. That's about all you need to know.
You kind of have to know Black Panther as well.
Like, you have to know all of the characters at least a little bit. Like, you know enough about Black Panther from Civil War to.
You can watch
I don't agree with you there.
You can watch you can just read a brief summary about Black Panther and get pretty much all you need to know from it for Infinity War.
Oh, don't be that guy.
Also, let's not downplay Black Panther.
No, it was a good movie.
Yeah,
it is the highest grossing. It's the highest
It was a good
grossing.
movie.
It was a
and
great
I did
movie.
like it.
Yeah, it was.
It's currently not. Avengers War,
Infinity
War already
War
blew it out of the water.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine. I'm saying before.
No, what I'm saying though is it's a great movie. I just don't think that it was that crucial to Infinity War itself.
It
was a good movie.
Really?
It was good.
It doesn't give you.
needed,
it gives you more information that you need, though.
You needed to know about Wakanda.
That's what I mean.
But because there's enough that happens there in Infinity War.
Well, a lot of the movie happens in Wakanda or in space.
Exactly. Like,
those are really
the
the
most
only two
common
settings.
location on Earth is Wakanda. So you kind of have to watch Black Panther in order to understand everything all of their society and technology that they have there.
And then there's
I mean,
stuff from not Infinity War, Civil War that you need to know.
If we're talking about skipping a Marvel movie for this, Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3.
Maybe The Incredible Hulk.
I would say
I feel like-
definitely The Incredible Hulk.
Like literally
The
the
Incredible
only thing the Incredible Hulk contributes is the end credit scene with Iron Man.
And
When he
Nick
meets
Fury.
with Jen,
I mean,
no, Nick
you-
Fury wasn't in Incredible Hulk.
You can
was it
skip the first
that
2
was-
Thor
yeah.
movies too.
Okay, so like the
I wouldn't say skip the first two Thor
No.
movies. The second Thor movie establishes the existence of the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
Um,
The first one doesn't
You
really
can
do much.
completely skip Guardians 2, I think, for this.
I don't agree
Not
with that
really.
either because like there's
Then you don't know who the
Okay, well,
Mantis
hang
chick
on.
is.
hang on. So
Okay, yeah, it does
I-
introduce Mantis, but that's like the only relevant point from Guardians 2.
before we continue this
I
conversation,
wanna.
like hang on.
Well, yeah, we're about to get
I
into
know.
spoiler
Like,
territory.
obviously, the conversation is circling around spoilers a little bit. Like, because Connor, you're holding yourself back and you're sitting there twiddling your
Yeah.
thumbs.
Before we get to spoilers, though, I would like to give out 2 accolades to Infinity War. It is the first movie to ever be shot with completely with IMAX technology.
So go see it in IMAX. We didn't,
Yeah.
and we missed out.
Yeah.
I mean, we can still do
Well,
it.
it was sold out.
Yeah.
It's still sold out, I think.
And it is the highest grossing movie of all time, domestic and internationally.
In its opening weekend.
Yeah, in its opening weekend at $250 million.
God.
It blew out The Force Awakens by $2 million, I believe.
But all right. So obviously our conversation's dwindling towards spoilers. That being said, I think we all agree this movie was fantastic. Like, I want to go see it again. I wanted to see it again before we recorded, but
Like-
there's just no way in our schedules to coordinate.
Like I said, worth the cash. It was
Yeah,
definitely worth
it's definitely worth that. I would probably go to the theaters if I had the cash to do it. I would be
IMAX.
watching it right now.
And I
I mean, I love the movie. Don't think it was worth the 10-year hype train, but both movies in the Infinity War saga combined totally will be worth the 10-year hype train.
Yeah.
Just this movie.
All right, so I think we all agree. Great movie. So, big flashing red lights. This is spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the movie, you're a terrible person and you need to go somewhere else.
Go watch it.
Go
now.
watch the movie, then come back to here.
be gone.
At the very least, turn us off until you've seen the movie at this point.
Yeah, and
I don't have
we
an
will
off switch.
forgive you completely
Only
as
on.
long as you come back. Otherwise, you're dead to us.
Well, then tell us how you really feel.
Oh no,
Now, yeah,
they're dead to 5 nerds.
as if we have a starting audience with our first.
Yeah, our
recording
first
site.
podcast. Yeah. So, getting into spoiler territory. Now, Connor, obviously, you're wanting to say some stuff.
So I do say Guardians 2. There is because it made me feel like Nebula would be more important in the story, but then she wasn't, and
mean-
that bothered me.
Okay,
So she was in that. She's the reason that he found the Soul Stone at all.
Well, only
Not
the-
Nebula, Gamora did.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Gamora found
he
it, but
told
he-
Thanos
He
that
went through Nebula's
Nebula's memory to find out that Gamora knew.
But still, she wasn't as important as Guardians 2 built her up to be.
Yeah.
So,
I really believe that she's going to have a much bigger role in Avengers 4.
Probably.
so I'm going to put this conversation on a bus
Wait
until we
for-
get to theories.
Yeah,
Okay.
theories.
Because there is some stuff that we need to talk about when it comes to that character to go into theories. Comic book nerd, resident comic book nerd here. Honestly, Jim Starling's work with Captain Marvel and Thanos, some of my favorite work in any comic books. I think it's Starling.
Can't even
obviously, I can't
your
remember his
author
last name.
names.
Yeah. So I've read every Infinity Stone thing that's come out, even into like the 2011 or 2012 Infinity storyline with Thanos. That I think this movie actually borrows more heavily from than the Infinity Saga. But yeah, I'm gonna put that on a bus. It's gonna come back because we're gonna get to theories later in this conversation. So with this movie, can we talk about who is the main character?
As we've.
I know me and Barrick, we've talked about
Yes.
this. The main character of the movie is not the Avengers.
It's Thanos, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
Thanos. Yeah.
Almost every single scene he's in it.
Yeah.
That being said, they sold this movie so much on it's the Avengers
Yeah.
Infinity War. Even to the title, the end credit card though, it didn't say the Avengers will return. It said Thanos will return. When it comes down to it, and this is one of the biggest complaints I have about the movie. So we're just now starting the spoiler territory conversation, and I'm already gonna riff on the movie a little bit in a bad way. They should not have killed Spider-Man. They should not have killed Black Panther.
Or probably Guardians of the
Well-
Galaxy for
Well,
the same reason.
only
Yeah,
because,
or the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well,
they,
the
should,
only
they could have
reason-
killed a few of them off.
the only reason
Not
to not
all
kill
but one of them. You
the
know?
only reason to not kill Spider-Man or Black Panther is because there is knowledge of their movies coming out.
We
next.
already know Spider-Man: Homecoming 2 is slated.
Yeah, so because of that, they pretty much already told us that a lot of these characters are going to be brought back to life somehow.
If probably all of them.
Most likely all of them, but I do think that there's going to be definitely one, most likely more, that won't come back.
I don't like that the only person that was in space that lived was Iron Man.
Oh, Nebula. Nebula's around.
At the same time, she didn't do anything, okay?
Again, we're gonna get into that.
I have a theory about how they're getting back.
Well, the thing is,
So, I just
go on.
want to talk about mainly like the characters in general. Personally, I think they did a really good job of the playing off as you said, like, of the characters. I'd rather not just jump straight in on who's gone and what.
Yeah.
Let's focus on let's progress through the story a bit. I loved Tony Stark and the dynamic between Tony Stark and Doctor Strange.
I also
At the
loved how
beginning of
they
the movie,
explored
yeah.
Spider-Man
Yeah.
and Tony Stark's relationship, and
So,
I love how the Iron Spider suit was introduced.
yeah, the Iron Spider
Yeah.
was perfect.
I am very much into my favorite thing about superheroes is personally I do love the quips. Like I love snarky heroes.
Did you recognize what they did with their breakdown? So, if obviously this is spoiler territory. We're assuming you've seen the movie. So, there's 3 groups formed in this movie, if I recall correctly. Aside from Thanos and Gamora going off and doing their haberdashery.
There's a space group, the Wakanda group, and what other group?
There's the
The
space
Thor.
group consisting of Benedict Cumberbatch, or Doctor Strange, Tony Stark,
Tony,
Peter Parker, or Spider-Man,
Peter
Iron
Quill, Drax.
Strange, Stark, and the 2
Yeah.
Peters.
Man. Strange,
Oh
Stark, and
yeah, I
Two-
forgot about
Mantis.
Thor, Raccoon, and Groot.
I was going to get to that in a
Yeah.
second. That was the 3rd group.
Yeah, I
So
forgot
you
about
have
them.
most of the Guardians.
Groot and the rabbit went with Thor, if
Yeah.
you remember.
The
Raccoon.
Yeah,
I'd forgotten about
him
that.
there.
So aside from Groot and Rocket Raccoon, all
All
the
of the
Guardians
Guardians
were
were
with Tony Stark and Doctor Strange and Peter Parker. They went to Titan,
Hey,
which is some undisclosed planet. Hang
we're
on.
using the
Hang on, hang
superhero
on.
names.
You are using this thing.
But if you take
So-
Tony
Well, hang
out
on,
of
hang on,
the
hang on,
Avengers,
hang on. So
We have
the
them.
group divisions, we had all the Guardians except for Rocket and Groot, who went with Thor after he met up with the Guardians of the Galaxy to forge Stormbreaker. So you have Thor, Rocket, and Groot in one group. Then you have the rest of the Guardians: Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Iron Man. Am I forgetting anyone else in that group?
Nebula went
Well, Nebula's a Guardian.
she's technically a Guardian.
Yeah.
isn't
She's a
she?
Guardian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
In this movie, she is not technically a Guardian.
she joined the Guardians at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
She was
that's
just
why
late to
you
the
need
party.
to see it.
Yeah.
It's been too long since I saw that movie, apparently.
And then on Earth, you initially start off with, well, obviously you have the
You
Stark
have
and-
everyone else there.
You have everyone else there, except for the 2 holdouts, Hawkeye and Ant-Man, who were not referenced, except
Actually,
for one. They were referenced
it
one
said that
time
they're in-
where
that
they
they're
took
under
a
house arrest.
yeah, they took a house arrest deal.
Also, Jessica Jones and the Defenders are
They're not referenced, are
They
they?
don't
Referenced.
exist. They don't happen.
It's a different universe.
It's not.
It's technically
It is
not
not.
a different universe. That being said, Disney and Netflix are not really on the greatest terms right now.
It's-
And that was all marketed by Netflix, so Disney is kind of, sort of, like, saying we're not going to reference them ever.
They're
So of the
flipping them
TV
off.
shows, the only one that you can really say matters to the MCU is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And maybe
that one
Inhumans.
barely ever.
And even then,
references back.
after Thor: The Dark World,
Those go on parallel, though.
yeah, they go in parallel.
The actual Netflix series,
They don't get referenced at all, or vice versa.
and they also don't reference the invasion that happened in Avengers 1.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
They-
in
they
Luke
reference it a
Cage.
couple times.
Yeah,
Luke Cage did?
yeah, in Luke Cage there was
I must have
the.
missed that scene.
So yeah, spoilers for Luke Cage. There-
Jessica Jones does
We're
it too.
spoiling everything.
So I don't
Those have
remember.
been out for a
I don't
while.
remember about Jessica Jones. I know Luke Cage did because they found the alien metal that they made the bullets that could penetrate his like abalone skin. And also they referenced Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2 in Luke Cage by having what was it, Diamondback or Viper? I can't remember who his brother's name, like code name was. He had a Hammer Tech suit that he fought Luke Cage with. Anyway, long story short, everyone but the 2 holdouts of Ant-Man and Hawkeye were on Earth. I'm assuming they're still on Earth somewhere. They're just not referenced.
They're chilling
at all.
in their house.
It starts off with Vision and Scarlet Witch, like they getting their love thing on.
But obviously, there's an issue because they're both parts of different sides.
Not really.
Well, remember she stayed with Cap and
She
he
did.
stayed with Iron Man.
In Civil War, they were on opposing sides.
Yeah.
But they
Yes.
got back together. They're back together.
We're assuming that because they did reference that Vision is now off on his own thing. Like he went dark. He turned his communicators off.
But so did she.
But so did she. Eventually, they get saved by the bearded gruff nomad.
And
Who is always walking out of shadows for some reason.
I did notice that.
That annoyed the heck out of me.
Oh no! What I hated was the fact that all right, here's Scarlet Witch and
I
there's
am the
Vision.
knight.
No, here is Scarlet and Vision, two of the most powerful, I guess.
I want to know how they.
I
Yeah, I want to know why
they were
Vision
getting
was
beaten
completely
up.
powerless.
Yeah,
But
no,
how are the humans faring best against the aliens?
Yeah. This is what I was.
Well, you did see like those scenes like where Scarlet Witch was punched, right?
Yeah.
But she would use her powers to soften the fall.
But here comes these two.
There was actually a legit scene where
Yeah.
she's hitting the floor with
Yeah.
her red lightning.
But here's
stuff.
these. It's 2-on-2. All right, it's 2-on-2.
But they were getting
They're,
beat by the
They're
aliens.
going at each other.
So
and then
hang on. We have to define the characters first. So it's the scenes of Scarlet Witch
Witch
and
Vision versus
the two of the. So this is one of the biggest issues. I say biggest issues loosely. It's kind of like me talking in general. I say biggest issues a lot. But that being said,
there's
one of my issues with the villains. So the main big bad, obviously, it's Grimace himself, Thanos, and he has the Black Order or the Children of Thanos.
There's
So,
5 of them, right?
4.
4?
There are 5 in the comics.
Yeah.
They ignored one of them. I can't remember the one they ignored, but he, like, if I remember right, the person didn't have much of a role anyway.
the
It
big
was in the Infinity storyline.
The big beef one's called like Obsidian or something
So-
stupid like that.
I don't
the
even
only
remember their names.
well, the thing is, the movie didn't tell you their names.
Oh.
They
The
mentioned
movie mentioned
They mentioned one name.
No, they kind of did. They
Yeah.
half did. So Thanos, when he gets to Titan, which I got some of the words to say about Titan, but when he gets to Titan, he's like, "Ah, I see you've killed them all," referencing Ebony Maw, the sorcerer dude. That was the only time I seen any of their names. The other characters, Proxima Midnight and
No.
Corvus Glaive. Those are
Well,
the two that you saw. that
yeah,
were fighting
and the
Vision
big one is Null Obsidian or something like that.
Cull Obsidian.
Cull
The
Obsidian.
Maw also could not... he has potential to not be dead because of how he
Yeah,
was
he's just frozen out in space.
Yeah.
But that being said, he's also not Asgardian, so I don't know if he can survive.
Well, you
like,
don't-
we know Thor did several times
He,
now.
he may pull a
He
Leia.
has
He
ma-
may pull a Leia.
Oh God.
He does have magic.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if it's magic.
It could just be telekinesis.
He because
It could just be
Okay.
an alien thing.
so there's been a
that.
thing in the Marvel universe, in the cinematic universe, with the way they reference magic and technology. You know, it goes back to the original Thor movie. You come up from a place where magic and technology, magic and science are two different things. I come from a place where they are one and the same. And like he traces his hand, they make a little turkey thing. Reference South Park. So the Marvel universe before Doctor Strange and before Thor Ragnarok, magic and technology have magic is just basically super science. It goes back to the any sufficiently advanced science is indistinguishable from magic and vice versa. So they've always treated magic as if it's just like this is just slightly more advanced science, and they still kind of roll with that when it comes to Thor every now and then. Because like you can't have a
when we
literal
saw
god.
Asgard,
But
when we saw Asgard, all their stuff just looked sciencey rather than
Yeah.
magic-y.
Well,
And after Thor Ragnarok, after Doctor Strange, and then Thor
Yeah.
Ragnarok, they've changed that. They've allowed magic to breathe.
Yeah.
so
the reason that I said magic is because they give absolutely no reference
Yeah.
as to how he uses his powers.
um
We don't know if it's telepathy, if he has some kind of cybernetic implants, or if it's a genealogy thing because of his race.
so
I mean, it is possible that it's cybernetic implants. I mean, look at Gamora and
I honestly think
Nebula.
it's like 50-50. Like he's using like the only power really you see him using is telekinesis.
but back to
And he's doing it in such a badass way.
Yeah.
back to what I was saying. I think you said Ebony Maw, and I already forgot the other.
So the two that fought Vision and Scarlet Witch were Proxima Midnight, the woman,
yeah,
and Corvus Glaive.
okay,
um,
Corpus Lake.
The big brute in the comics, he's known as Black Dwarf. They changed it because Black Dwarf is kind of a dumb name, and he was with Ebony Maw.
Yeah, but these two start going at Adam. One of them, as if you've seen the movie,
Yeah, Corvus Glaive runs his sword through Vision, which we're told
keeps him
all
from
it did
phasing.
all it did was disable his phasing ability, and obviously it probably hurt him a lot.
I mean,
Yeah,
if he gets
but-
stabbed, I hope it.
But
hurts.
here's the thing. Here's these two that have been proven to be quite adept fighters, and they're getting their butts handed to them. And then all of a sudden, here comes the three humans. Oh, knockout. What's up? Easy mode.
Well, we don't know the extent of Corvus Glaive or Proxima Midnight's powers.
I know, but
We just know they have cool weapons.
It's the surprise factor. They caught Vision off guard, and he was pretty much neutered for that entire fight. So it was Scarlet Witch and, let's say, half of Vision fighting those two.
yeah,
Who are
But-
very, like,
And at the same time, you're
very
dis-
good fighters.
I feel like they were also holding back due to the fact that they were in a populated area.
I don't think they care about that.
Yeah.
Well, they don't want to
Um,
destroy anything because
What you're doing is
remember-
you're understating the power that Captain America has in this MCU. So in
Yeah.
the comic books, he doesn't actually have superpowers. He literally is just the best at anything a normal person can
He's
do.
just a super acrobat.
Yeah. So he's as strong as a normal human can be, as fast as, like, you and I have had conversations
he's
about
peak.
Dylan.
He's peak human.
They call it
pretty
peak human, which means if it is capable for a human to do it, well, you'll note that, like, bodybuilders, they're the strongest physically people that you can be, but they suck at running. They trade off running for lifting things. Captain America can do both lift things like they can and run like who's the runner? from
Usain Bolt?
Usain Bolt.
Wasn't he found to? No, never mind. I'm not gonna bring that up.
Don't bring up anything like that,
So
please.
the thing with this is, Captain America could be considered a superhuman because he is peak human in all aspects
Yeah.
that he could be.
And I would agree with that assessment. At me in high school would laugh at you because I'm like, he's just peak human. What does that mean? They have a Hulk. But now I understand, me personally, like, now that I'm, 8 years older than I was when I graduated high school, I understand that, like, I can't both lift things and run.
Well,
whereas Captain
it
America
also
can.
affected his mind as well, giving him quite.
Yeah. Well, we don't know the extent of which it infected
But
his
it
mind.
had-
healthy body, healthy mind. Right?
Yeah.
Like he's assumably pretty good.
Yeah. Strategist.
Yeah.
So, like, you're underestimating Captain America, in my opinion. I think you are.
I just
At the same time, like, it's not that Vision and Scarlet Witch were getting their butts kicked. They were actually holding their own, kind of.
They were about to lose when the Cap group showed up.
Yeah,
But, and at that point, it was
they'd
really...
already weakened them.
It was only Scarlet Witch fighting at that point. Vision was completely gone from further injuries.
Yeah. But,
Still not dead yet.
so,
Gotta protect that stone.
the Earth group starts off with just Vision and Scarlet Witch. Later, we're joined by Cap and
Black
Falcon.
Widow.
Cap, Falcon, and Black Widow. Or who Cap is not Captain America. He's explicitly never referenced as Captain
no.
America.
he's Steve
once.
Rogers.
They reference him as Captain once by Vision, because Vision, that's how Vision's always known him. But he is explicitly just Steve Rogers. He's basically so in the 1970s, after the Watergate scandal, Marvel decided to be political, and they said Captain America no longer can represent the United States if this is what the United States stands for. And he became known as Nomad. He just basically wore an all-black suit. He didn't have his shield still. He had something else, I can't remember, because I was like 10 when I read the comic book storyline.
Like, the suit in the movie wasn't all black, but it was close enough. Like, you could
Yeah.
barely see any of the...
I love that he still has the star in his chest.
Yeah.
It's just not white. It's
You
like
could barely
it's like,
see it.
It's like
the
it's empty.
absence
Yeah.
of the star. Like, I love that.
So going on further, I believe that was when the Guardians of the Galaxy ran into the Angel Pirate. Correct?
Possibly. I don't remember if that was next or if the scene with Rhodey was next.
I think it may have been.
I think it was... the
Well,
scene
there was a
with-
scene with Rhodey, which, like, legitimately, like, encapsulated everything I love about Captain America in this universe. Because Captain America basically just tells off,
He tells he
yeah.
tells the supers to just go
and
off.
then Rhodey is like, "That's court martial. Hi, Cap. How you doing?" Like he doesn't even care. And I
Well,
love it so
like,
much.
He said, and that's the court martial because his phone rang.
Yeah.
I
that's
do
great.
love how he's actually walking better than he was at the end of Civil War.
Well, he had to get better use of his legs, but I do like that.
Stop hurting Rhodey
So
2K18.
like before we talk about like anything else, like since we were talking about like the conflict in the movie and how like it seemed as though the heroes are getting their butts kicked. One clever thing I think that the movie does at the very beginning. So the movie opens up. We're in space at the wreckage of the Asgardian spaceship at the end of Thor Ragnarok, the refugee ship. Thanos and the Black Order have already had their way with the entire ship. They've killed everyone except for Heimdall, Thor, and Loki that we know of.
And
Well,
Banner.
and Banner.
Oh, and Banner, but we don't know about Banner at first. And there's this
No,
big...
well, we actually do know that he's still there because of the end of Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
He is on the ship.
Yes.
We know he's on the ship, but we don't know he's still alive until
Well,
the thing.
theoretically, you'd
well,
think he wouldn't be.
He's the Hulk.
Yeah.
We have a Hulk.
Yeah.
Coming from Loki this
Yeah.
time.
No,
Yeah, I
and
love
they
it.
That
have
was
a
the
Hulk.
best
That
thing.
was
It's
amazing.
character development.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Yeah.
not scared of the Hulk. Like, I like you, man. You're cool. Anyway, it starts off, Thor is in, like, this weird, like, what's the word for it?
Well, he was on the floor, but then he got
He gets put into a metal cocoon, basically.
Basically, by Ebony Maw. So,
hit by a BDSM banana.
one of the most intelligent things the movie starts with, because you can't have an Avengers movie without the Hulk. But then again, like,
I mean, we
if
did
you
Civil War
you
without him.
could, well, Civil War wasn't, even though, yeah, it was Avengers 2.5, they should never have titled it as Captain America movie. They open the movie up with Thor in bondage, essentially, and Loki has the Tesseract, Thanos threatens to kill Thor, and we finally get resolution to the entire story of Loki that we've been given. And I loved that, despite the fact that Loki gets killed immediately before the movie continues. But Loki goes, "We have a Hulk." And then out of nowhere, Hulk comes out and starts beating the holy heck out of Thanos. It's great. But literally, I leaned to Dylan at this point, but he has the Power Stone already. Because you see the
Yeah.
one purple gem. So for
And about a second and a half later,
Thanos just wrecks his face.
yeah. My theory on it is Thanos wasn't even using the Power Stone. Because in the comics, he is as strong as a base level Hulk, which
Yes.
is all that we have in all of the Avengers cinematic universe.
We haven't
Well,
haven't
that-
actually seen the whole when he gets angry or
Yeah.
he gets stronger.
Yeah,
At that point, though, Thanos is just having fun.
but the
And I love that they actually, Ebony Maw
Yeah.
quips about that.
the difference is the Hulk is uncontrolled rage.
And he's never had to learn.
Thanos already knows how to fight,
Yeah.
so he very well could have not been using the Power Stone to enhance his strength whatsoever. He's just already as strong, and he knows how to fight.
So, but yeah. So in the comic books, he is on par with base level Hulk. The Hulk is theoretically stronger. Because in the comic books, there is the whole, the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. That being said, Marvel has been kind of trying to phase that out a little bit. It's still a thing, but because it's so hard to quantify that in a story, they're like, yeah, we're just going to say he's just strong. He's the
Dylan,
strongest thing in existence.
You're a math nerd. Can you give me the exact equation of rage plus strength equals total amount of power?
No. We need
I have not
we need
read enough
rage.
of the comics in order to make that equation yet.
Like, we need to know how
We
much
need it.
rage he needs to be a fully equipped Thanos, like all Infinity Stone Thanos.
But that being said, like, I know I lean to you in the comic books, but he has the Power Stone. And for those who haven't read the comic books and don't know the actual how the stones work, the Power Stone in the comic books, literally its only purpose is whatever powers you currently have are amplified.
Isn't that the stone that, like, Peter Quill had to dance off to get?
Yeah.
And I love how we don't even see him laying waste to the Nova Corps.
Yeah.
We just know he did to get it. So the Power Stone amplifies any physical attributes you have, any powers you have, and in the comic books, and this is an interesting thing that I found that the movie does, there's no explicit mention that the stones were meant to work together in any of the movies. So in the comic books, they were meant to work together because they're all fragments of some dead deity. If you want to go by the Ultraverse comics, Malibu, I think it was, in the 90s, they introduced a 7th Infinity Gem, the Ego Gem. And when you put that in, they become Nemesis or some
I
crap.
mean, with Deadpool, you get the other fake gems and stuff.
Anyway, it's not worth mentioning. It's not worth reading. Malibu was a mess. They even had their own Shazam ripoff. Anyway,
Back to the hand.
Yeah.
so the Power Gem only served in the comic books because the stones were meant to work with each other. The Power Stone was basically like the battery for the other stones. The other stones can still do their thing without the Power Stone.
But now in the movie,
But now
when he
there's
punches stuff, it's
amplified.
like...
Well, I would say,
Yeah.
I would say it's like, as you said, amplifies more like each one
Yeah.
produces its own sound. It's like they're their own.
This is a megaphone for it.
Yes.
Where in this movie, basically, you just get purple lightning.
No, you punch something and then the
explosion.
purple explosion happens.
So he's Black Panther now.
Yes.
So I literally leaned over to Dylan and I was like, he has the Power Stone though, so this isn't a fair fight. So even if Thanos didn't know how to fight and the Hulk was allowed to breathe and get stronger as he got angrier, it was a foregone conclusion. But yeah, Thanos wrecks the Hulk, which is the best thing that they could have possibly done. Because right off the bat, they show you Thanos means business.
Well, I mean, it's also
They show you who's the captain.
obvious when he kills Loki. Like, we've
Well-
seen Loki die before, but this time we know it's a real thing.
But the thing is, Loki,
We did not see a body of Loki when he died before.
at the same time,
We
like,
saw the body this time.
is killing Loki really a feat versus
I
beating the
feel
Hulk?
like
Which one's the
it
bigger?
is due to the fact that he is a god.
Well, technically, he's not a god.
Well,
He's a
you know
Jotun.
what I mean.
Demigod.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a Jotun.
And Hulk has
I do like
promptly...
how he says that
I
he
am
is
Loki, Odin's son. Yeah,
But I also like how he acknowledges he's from Jotun.
Well, and the
yeah.
thing...
I'm
And the,
also a prince of Jotun.
and-
They're the rightful king.
I mean,
Yeah.
Asgardians are basically just hyper advanced. They're not literal gods.
Well, again, after Thor Ragnarok,
They're-
they've been
they're-
messing with that.
Their
Yeah.
average lifespan is 5,000 years.
But then they have a lifespan, which means, are they gods?
Demigod at that point.
Yes.
So anyway, it opens up with that. So we know that Thanos and the Black Order, because we have Ebony Maw uses telekinesis to restrain Thor, who
And
has
he
been
stays restrained.
who has been demonstrated to be at least physically on par with the Hulk in previous scenes. He's also, after Thor Ragnarok when he went Super Saiyan, like, he destroyed an entire army of undead Asgardians. Like,
And Hela.
and Hela, well, he didn't do crap to Hela. Like, if you've seen Thor Ragnarok, which I'm hoping if you're listening to this in spoiler territory, you understand that you have to watch every Marvel movie before Infinity War, so we're spoiling. I don't care.
We've already stated that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
10 years of spoilers.
Surtur, voiced by Clancy Brown. Surtur destroys Asgard, and Hela loses her powers and dies, presumably.
She didn't lose her powers. She just died. I think.
Well, she's floating in space somewhere.
It's been a while
without
since
powers.
Either
I've
way,
seen
Asgard is
Ragnarok.
gone. The physical
It's-
land of Asgard
well-
is destroyed.
Well, even then, Asgard's
Now
gone.
Asgard's gone.
No, it's Asgard.
Thor is the
Yeah,
last
'cause-
Asgardian.
No.
Yeah, because Thanos killed everyone.
Well, he is now. But at the end of Thor Ragnarok, they come to the conclusion that Asgard is not the place.
Yes,
Well,
it is.
now
it is
Thor
the-
is
Well, now,
Asgard.
yeah, not Thor is Asgard.
Now it's the person.
Which,
Well-
I have a thought on that in a second.
They were going to Earth at that point
Yeah.
to create the new Asgard.
But
Well, there's not going to be any populace.
hey, it was, hey,
No, just half the populace is gone.
just
They're all dead, Dylan.
Justin, it's not Asgard anymore. It's Asgard.
God, go away.
Barrett, get out.
All right, I'm gone. Nice.
Anyway, I realized that I had started a conversation based on Barrick saying that, like, this whole conversation stems from Barrick saying, like, I really appreciated the chemistry between Doctor Strange and Tony Stark, and then we went off, and then I just realized that's where we started this. Have you noticed that with the groupings, they put all the smart Alex on one team?
Team Moron.
The knowledgeable people together.
Yeah. I say knowledgeable loosely because Tony Stark is probably the most knowledgeable person in this entire
But I mean, like,
series.
But the people who who have been shown technical know,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
pretty good in their fields.
The people who
I mean,
aren't,
Spider-Man's not
but
good in his field. He's
they
just
put all of
starting.
the comic relief people except for Rocket Raccoon on Team Tony
I do have to say, I do love Rocket.
or Team Peter since there's two Peters there.
I do love how Rocket was used in the movie.
Peter squared.
Yeah, the rabbit. Yeah,
Well, not even just that. Like when Bucky picked him up and used him to shoot.
yeah, that was great.
And I'm
Hey,
getting that-
I'm gonna
getting
get that with his prosthetic.
Isn't there a prosthetic?
There's a running joke where every scene,
Yeah.
every movie with Rocket Raccoon, which now there's only been 3, I think.
Yeah.
There's been like he's stolen someone's
Like
prosthetics.
now that's how Thor got his eye. He stole
Yeah.
a prosthetic.
Well, yeah. And we
Oh, I
will
didn't
not
win
rest-
it. I
You
just
get
went in
that,
there and got it when he was asleep.
But yeah, so they put all the comic relief characters on one
I'll need
team,
a sweeper now.
and so there's a huge issue with Marvel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe to this point, and it's an issue I had with Thor Ragnarok. Like, I hated this part of Thor Ragnarok, but they got a comedy director, so meh. I guess you accept what you get. Marvel, and this has been a stated theory. Like, I've listened to a lot of like treaties on this, or not treaties, like podcasts and stuff like that on this. Marvel doesn't know how to let their scenes breathe. So there's like a giant dramatic sequence. For example, the end of Thor Ragnarok, where Asgard's destroyed. Korg is like, "Don't worry, brother, we can rebuild." I don't think he said brother, but we can rebuild. And then that blows up. Oh, never mind. Like, shut up, Korg. Kid, you're my favorite character of that movie, but go! Get out of here!
The scene where where the comic relief characters are trying to beat up Thanos, I mean,
that was a great
Yeah.
scene.
If not for Peter Quill, Thanos
Everything
would have lost at
would've-
halfway through the
Okay,
movie.
Peter Quill, by
It's
the
all
way,
his
was the
fault.
worst character
Yes, it
in
is.
this
but
movie.
it
I
could
feel.
also be Doctor Strange's fault. We've stated
Yeah.
this.
So hang on. So there's a breakaway point in the middle of the movie. Thanos just got the Soul Stone. So currently he has the reality space stone, power stone, Soul Stone.
No.
And
He
Yeah,
only has
four.
the first three.
and he
No,
had,
he already had
on
the Soul
Titan.
Stone.
he had to kill Gamora.
He already had the
to
Soul
get it.
Stone because Gamora was dead at this point. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Peter wouldn't have freaked out.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he has
Long wait.
so in the order he got him was Power Stone off screen. He got the Space Stone from Loki at the beginning of the
I
movie.
feel like he got a lot of them off screen.
We don't see him get the Reality Stone, but we do see the aftermath.
We
he
see
he
him
got that
use
from
it.
he got that from the Collector,
And
then
he
used
used
that
it
to
on
kidnap
Gamora at first.
Gamora and prevent Peter Quill from killing Gamora because Gamora knew where the Soul Stone was and didn't want Thanos to find
What was
out.
his obsession with turning stuff into bubbles?
I would have done the same thing. I mean,
I was turning into butterflies.
But then
then he
he
gets
was
the
just
Soul
like,
Stone from
just kill
sacrificing
her.
Gamora, and we run into an old pal, the Red Skull, which freaked me out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
was
anyway.
He
great.
wasn't very Nazi-like anymore, so he's
Well,
learning.
he's been there for 60 years
Yeah, he's learning.
as a wraith.
He's
But
learning
anyway,
to not
I
be
thought it was
So
a
Nazi.
mentor.
anyway, Thanos has 4 of the 6 Reality
just called him
Stones,
a ring
or
ring.
Infinity Stones. The only ones he's missing are the Time Stone from Doctor Strange, which this whole fight scene is to get to the Time Stone, and the Mind Stone, which is still in the Vision's head. So there's this huge fight scene, and they almost win. Are we?
We got
from
Peter
what
Parker.
we know,
We got Peter Parker and Iron Man pulling on the glove to get it off. We got
Doctor
Doctor Strange
Strange,
restraining him. We
you-
got Mantis on top trying to keep him calm.
using her powers to keep him calm.
Drax isn't doing anything.
Yeah, Drax is off. We're doing whatever Drax does. Who cares?
I think it was like holding a
Um,
rope binding him.
maybe. I
think-
don't
I
remember.
do feel like Drax could have held back Peter Quill.
Yeah. So Peter Quill's like, "Where's Gamora?" And like, eventually he finds out that Gamora's dead. Thanos killed her. To get the Soul Stone because plot twist, you
I
have
can't
to
remember
sacrifice
who
a
told
soul
him.
to get a soul. Red
Because-
Skull told him. Oh no.
Because he didn't say anything.
No, Red Skull told him.
No.
Red Skull didn't.
told
No, Red Skull
Peter
didn't tell
Quill.
Peter Quill. That's
Oh
what
no,
she's
no, no,
asking.
no.
Was it
okay.
Nebula?
I think so.
No, it was Mantis.
No,
No, because
No,
she was
hang
talking
on.
about how his
No,
emotions
Mantis-
were.
no,
Yeah,
Mantis
she
said-
was interpreting all of his emotions and his thoughts, and then relaying the little bits that she
Yeah.
could.
But
But
I don't
Neb-
remember
no,
who
but then-
actually said
No,
that.
no,
the
Nebula-
group seduce him until Nebula deduces that Thanos killed Gamora.
yeah, because
Okay,
no,
so
so
it was
Nebula,
Nebula.
Nebula says he came here with the Soul Stone. Gamora did not,
Yeah.
and then that's where it got to.
So he has these 4 Infinity Stones. They're all they literally are seconds away. They actually get the Infinity off of his hand. But Peter Quill goes nuts and slaps him upside the face with his guns.
Which
until
wakes
this
him
point
up
in the
from
movie,
Mantis.
until this point in the movie, I was like, Peter Quill is me. Like everything he was doing was stuff I was doing. Like the whole falling into a Doctor Strange portal while flipping off Thanos. Like I would do that. That was great. I loved it. But then like this happens and Peter
Why didn't you
Quill-
just shoot him? Why didn't you just
Yeah,
kill
why
him?
didn't someone? Why
Like,
didn't Tony Stark? Like, I know Dylan. I've talked about this before. I leaned over to you and was like, if we ever get in a situation where we have to stop a reality warping monster, and like you're starting to mouth off to this monster and preventing us from winning it, I'm shooting you in the face.
Well, no.
And I hope you do the same to me.
And the
So,
no, and I
what
mean, no,
what I said could have happened is Doctor Strange could have made a very empty promise, like we could bring her back, just help us here. But he didn't.
Well, he-
But we've gone on to this. Like, we're joking that it's Peter Quill's fault. When in reality, there's a scene where Doctor Strange is looking into the future with the Time Stone. He's like, I've seen 14 million futures, and there's only one where we win. So he sees this. So we know they win. So I think maybe there's some weird stuff with Thanos and the Infinity
it could be the
Gauntlet
reality stone.
So the path in which they win, and
required him to get all of them.
yeah, it required Thanos' master plan of annihilating half the universe, or
Yeah.
unaliving half the universe,
Yeah, but
to
unaliving
actually
just
go off,
dissolve them.
and then all of that to be undone by some other character later.
But what I mean is that why didn't Peter Quill just blow his head off instead of no? He just wanted to beat him down.
because he's a Titan.
We still
Nah,
didn't.
He's
figure
on
out-
par with Asgardians.
We still didn't figure out who.
And
the
he has a
Skrull
healing
was.
factor.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't
Cut
know.
his head off. Heal that.
Yeah, we have this whole fight scene, and Dylan, you and I again, like you and I sat next to each other, so there's a lot of references back and forth because I'm a talker in movies sometimes.
I sat next to Carla, and me and her joked back and forth.
So, me and Dylan were both talking how if we had these specific Infinity Stones, forget the Soul Stone. Forget the Soul Stone. The Soul Stone is
What
irrelevant.
does that even do?
I'll get to that.
I
later.
think it allows you to manipulate actual people because his reality stone, if you notice, it only affected at the time either people temporarily or permanently objects.
Yeah, there's a lot to go on with the Soul Stone.
Okay.
It's the most nebulous of the stones.
Like, I
but
know what the Time
I
Stone
think I know.
does.
I have an inkling about what the Soul Stone's actually doing right now.
I kind of know what the Mind Stone
But in the
does,
in the
not
comic
very
books, it
much.
basically was the Infinity Stone that let you manipulate magic. It also like lets you manipulate souls, as we were talking about,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Anyway, forgetting the Soul Stone. So the Order of Thanos gets the stones. Obviously, power, space. We've been over this before. He gets the
Power, space,
reality,
reality,
soul, time, then mind.
mind. Yeah.
So with just the space, power, and reality,
He already
this
won.
fight wouldn't even happen.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say though, I did hate how he got the
No.
Mind Stone.
With Doctor Strange still having the Time Stone, the fight doesn't happen. Oh, Thanos showed up, lock him in time to where he can't move. We take the gauntlet off and kill him.
Yeah.
On the spot.
Why didn't they
that's
just
okay.
cut off
The
his
issue with
hands?
that is
Cut off his left arm. Yeah.
I
Because like
imagine-
Thor could have done that.
time and reality are
This-
kind of interlocked with each other. So I'm like, my issue is that couldn't you just use the reality stone to pull some high level trickery and then just be like,
Not once he's locked in time.
But also
Yeah,
remember,
he could just lock him in time loop.
remember
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
Thor came in with the axe and hit him in the chest? Why didn't he just hit his arm?
So
Well, he was from way far away.
Yeah.
I'm giving that
I
one
mean,
a
he
sure.
also could have gotten up higher. And
I
gotten
just
the
give
head.
that a sure.
No. The blast from Thanos that he was trying to stop the axe also had some influence on its trajectory.
Yeah.
but he
Even though the axe was shown just completely going through
Yeah.
that blast with no problem, it still can influence the trajectory.
Yeah, there's still resistance there.
Okay.
And even then, Thor was far enough away to where, and obviously, this is just after the big boom. So he's got the stones now, and so I give it a sure. I don't even care about that.
Hey, can I just say, by the way, I just realized this. This is inappropriate timing. But Vision did give Thanos a piece of his mind.
Shut up. Anyway.
So we're gonna get rid of Barrick, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna unalive him,
We're
right?
gonna unalive Barrick.
You are not safe from Thanos.
So, that fight, though, it would have happened if I had the Reality Stone. I would just make everything not exist except for the Time Stone locket.
But there was
Which
a
even
spell
then,
on that, though.
the-
Remember?
But
No,
he has
hang
the Soul
on,
Stone.
hang on. Did you not see? Thanos just gets the locket
I
and
saw.
squeezes it and breaks it. He doesn't give a crap.
It's an empty locket.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
Well, but he already said
The
Soul
Time Stone
manipulates
is
magic,
not even
so-
in the actual realm that they're in.
I feel.
yeah,
Doctor
that is right. I forgot about that. Where Doctor
Like-
Strange materializes it.
Yeah, Doctor Strange
Yeah.
locked it away in a, let's call it a pocket dimension.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
I'm
that
trying to
fight
remember
wouldn't
how
happen.
that entire thing went down because I remember seeing him open the locket with it in there. I just don't quite remember how that
Before he
happened.
went all Shiva.
Yeah.
That was cool as all get out, though. I'm not
he
gonna
was-
lie.
He was either. I feel like either he just simply he did a trick up his sleeve, pretty much to.
That's
either-
basically what he did.
He's
Okay,
a magician.
we also need to talk about that fight in general, because Doctor Strange.
A lot happened in that one fight.
Doctor Strange shoots like this big energy thing at Thanos.
The Crimson Bands of Cyttorak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanos takes it all, warps it into a black hole, and throws it back.
Yeah.
The only way that could have happened is if they were in that alternate dimension that they show in Doctor Strange.
Well, okay, so we do see
Because that big field that Doctor Strange creates at the very
we
beginning.
do see the
like,
broken glass
Yeah,
effect.
and then he throws that, and then the black hole thing.
That could,
happens.
and he could have done the black hole thing because he had the reality and space stones.
and the Soul Stone.
He could have done that in the. I don't even care about
Soul
the Soul
Stone doesn't matter, remember?
I thought the Soul Stone would help him in the alter
in the
reality.
comic books.
Man,
I'm not even like the Soul Stone had no powers in this movie.
All right.
in my opinion.
okay.
We didn't.
Or
see,
we don't
don't know.
know.
We didn't
anyway.
see it do anything. That
Yeah, we didn't
know
see
of.
anything. Like we knew what the Space Stone did because we've seen the Tesseract in action. We've seen the Reality Stone in action, kind of. We've seen all of them essentially, except for the Soul Stone.
Well, I mean, we didn't really see the Power Stone in action. We just saw.
Well, he knew that
No.
if it touched a planet, it destroyed the planet.
Dude, like, he does this whole thing where he's like, oh, alright, I'm just gonna take this entire...
Oh yeah, he's like, I was in like, when is he gonna throw the moon?
Yeah. This dude throws a moon! How do you throw
Well,
a
he
moon?
didn't actually throw a
Stark
moon.
lives
Oh, yeah.
through that,
He destroys a moon, and then
and it's
throws...
just
But yeah.
like, you better not throw another moon at me.
But yeah, Doctor Strange
He
goes.
loves Tony so much he gave him the moon.
But yeah, so that fight scene, I don't think it should have happened, but I'm glad it did because it was one of the coolest fight scenes. It even beats the Civil War fight scene for me.
I'm pretty sure we already stated, Doctor Strange knew that this was going to fail.
Yeah.
And that's why he gave up the Infinity Stone, simply called...
And
I mean,
he drops the Endgame name.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I feel personally, and others agree with me, that the reason why he gave it up is because he feels Tony is the end game. He is the one who's going to help solve this issue.
Yeah.
And back to being said to this, I feel as if had he not given up the time stone and just let Tony Stark die, Doctor Strange would have been alive in his stead. Because I feel like, because of the way the numbers work with the 50%,
Yeah.
it could have meant Doctor Strange would be alive.
Okay, well, hang on.
We also have a reference right here to the very first Avengers movie. In Tony's talk with Loki atop Stark Tower.
Oh, yeah.
Because you believe if we can't save the Earth, you'll be
We're gonna.
damn sure
We avenge
that
it.
we'll avenge it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I think we should talk about the elephant in the room. 50% of the population of the universe is now dead. And the ones we saw.
But is it
Black
actually
Panther,
50%?
Spider-Man.
It's roughly 60% of all of our Avengers teams
Yeah.
is gone.
So Peter Parker's is what hurt me the most, but also Bucky's. Because
Okay.
it was just so sudden and in front of Cap, and that was his best
Yeah.
friend.
Speaking of which, I love how I just aesthetically
Like Captain
wise,
Tony, you know,
how
gets
when
mass.
Bucky died, it's each of his limbs falling off, and then he
Like,
goes.
That really hurt because he was just like, I don't feel good, and then suddenly he's dust.
Which that's
Are
the
you talking
only
about
person.
Peter there?
Yeah.
So
Peter's hurt too.
So I read an article earlier today. Peter knew what was going on.
Yes, I saw that.
Because of his spider sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
It pretty much told him, "Oh, you're dead."
I was about to make reference to that. Like,
So
he was
like,
the only one who actually felt dying.
Yeah, the moment that it started affecting him, he knew that exactly what was going on.
The whole I don't want to go though. As soon as I heard that, I thought back to the 10th Doctor's
Was,
leaving,
Oh god.
and it hurt so much
So
more
wait,
thinking of that.
like I have a
So like, Peter knew what was going on.
Yeah.
No one else that we saw going through it knew what was going on
They were just ceasing existing.
until the very end scene.
Well,
when we saw Nick Fury go.
I have
Mother.
no.
Yeah.
I have a question. Was Peter the first to go, or was it everyone else?
They all left almost simultaneously.
Alright,
Yeah.
Within
so-
like 10 minutes of each other.
All right.
However,
so
I loved seeing Dad Stark, when
Yeah.
Peter hugged him. He's just like, I don't want to go.
Because
And
Peter
then-
Parker is his son in this
Yeah.
movie, essentially.
essentially.
yeah.
Because of how everything played out in Homecoming and Civil War.
Yes.
He's basically the reverse Uncle Ben.
Basically.
He lives.
So,
Yeah.
like, they've killed off so many Avengers. Again, I said this earlier. They should not have killed off Black Panther and Spider-Man
Also,
because it
though,
breaks the illusion of the movie.
The way that Sam went, that was also hurt.
Yeah,
Because
'cause
Rhodey
Rhodey
was
was
looking
looking
for him, and he didn't even see him cease to exist. So
Yeah.
he still doesn't know if he's out
So,
there.
and by the way,
I would assume he would think
okay, so
See, actually, he would know because at the spot where he disappeared, Rhodey walked through right after Sam was gone. All of his
equipment.
metal.
But are we sure that didn't dissolve with him?
All of his metal equipment would have been left behind.
Oh, no, because there's no reference to
Because
that.
Black Panther's suit
Like,
also
and Spider-Man's
dissolves.
suit dissolved
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
So it's everything you were touching at the time. It's not from
Yeah.
the planet you're on, I
but,
guess.
but Bucky's arm was left, wasn't
That's
it?
no.
No,
No,
it-
all
they
of
also
his limbs.
dissolved.
dissolved.
I could have sworn that the metal arm dropped to the ground.
No.
Okay, well we can
As
like
we
we
can-
can just say assuming we like it's
If we assume everything had been
we're
left.
gonna assume for dramatic appeal. Everything happened according to dramatic appeal. These people are dead. That's all that needs to be said. Really, they're all dead.
Also, though, the way that the Black Panther dissolved was also hurtful because it was in front of what's her face? I can't remember her name.
Oh, the
Her name is it starts with
I
a
can't think of her name either.
It
I
starts
thought
with-
she was so cool too.
her name is it
The
starts with-
warrior lady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it starts with an S. I don't want to sound
No, it's
Like
not
it wasn't
Shuri.
said enough times.
Yeah.
It wasn't Shuri. It just wasn't said enough times for me.
By the
to
way,
really...
what happened to Shuri?
Shield.
We don't know.
Because we don't know if she dissolved
We didn't see
or
her
not.
dissolve. No.
And some of the people I think they dissolved off. I think they had to
I
dissolve
know.
off. I think they had to dissolve off. For example,
Wanda didn't.
they had to get
She
rid of.
didn't freak out over dissolving because.
Well, but I feel like they had to get rid of. They had to dissolve her because, one, she's one of the more powerful beings.
I want to know why they felt that they were allowed to kill Vision twice.
Because they had that double vision.
See,
Shut up.
But they had to show the time stone actually being used.
But we'd seen
Yeah,
it been
for-
used in,
for a-
in Doctor
No,
Strange.
for a practical purpose.
Well, you knew it was going to happen.
And even then, after Doctor Strange gave him the Time Stone, and this is basically movies over, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Movies like the,
Yeah.
the battlefield kind of doesn't matter anymore because if anything dies that Thanos doesn't want dead, like his children, which all the children die, they don't die in ways that I think were satisfying. Like Ebony Maw was, that was satisfying. Like he's just dead out
Yeah.
in space.
You ever
That's
heard
cool.
of that
He-
really
he-
old movie Aliens?
Shut up.
Ebony Maw is the only one that I can actually see somehow coming back.
Yeah.
I kind of
He's
like.
the only one
I like
because
how-
of how they all died.
I liked how Cole Obsidian died, though. That was pretty. That was pretty metal. His face getting grated up against the energy field as he's pretty much.
Yeah.
I really liked how Thor finally came in on Earth, you know?
Oh, with
But I did-
Stormbreaker.
I
You
was,
mean the Leviathan
I had
axe.
to.
We're not playing God of War.
Lightning
I had
flavored.
to liken him to a Pokemon using Quick Attack, though.
So going to that, so Thor's whole
Thor,
story
he's
arc
Thunderbolt.
was witnessing Thanos destroy
super
all of the
effective.
Asgardians. So we see Thor witness the death of all the Asgardians, including Loki.
He's pretty pissed.
He's pissed. He tells Thanos, "You're going to die for this." Then he meets up with the ragtag group of pirates.
He
And you
runs
know,
onto their windshield.
Thanos didn't refute that statement
No.
from Thor.
But Thanos doesn't have precognition, so he has no way of knowing.
He also doesn't care if he lives or dies once he's
He's accomplished his goal. He doesn't
Yeah.
care.
You could become a farmer for all you know.
Yeah.
Which
Anyway.
I don't like how his goal is different from the comic books, but I know that they aren't going to reference that.
Well, yeah, in the comic books, he's in love with Mistress Death, which
I-
is the incarnation of death, but they couldn't really do that in a movie.
Well, not only that, I kind of prefer this version of.
I do too.
It makes him a much more kind of
Well, hang on. I'm
But
gonna
we
get to
don't
that.
want to
yeah.
sympathize with Thanos.
Says
Yeah,
you.
we do.
Says you.
That's one of the biggest issues of Marvel's villains.
This
They're
guy.
not appealing.
Like,
Aside
you
from Killmonger and like this
Well,
guy.
like, you sympathize with all of them in some way. There's always some way to sympathize with them,
But
and I
anyway.
do want a villain that's just
Anyway.
bad because they're bad.
I hate those villains. Those villains are stupid because they don't make sense and they're not
Well,
actually
love
viable.
It shows that
go
you
back to
don't.
Red Skull at that point.
It shows that
Yeah.
you don't need a motivation to be evil,
Well,
basically.
what I'm saying.
But that's the thing. You can't have action without motivation.
Well, no, I prefer Thanos doesn't believe what he's doing is wrong. That's why these are my preferred villains. I prefer villains who do not believe they are villains.
Exactly.
I like.
And that's I can't remember who said it, but every villain is
Their
the hero
own.
of their own story.
Yeah.
Getting away from that, Thor's basic story: he sees all the Asgardians die. He swears vengeance on Thanos.
He meets.
He meets up with the Guardians of the Galaxy, steals the what's the name of these? It's named after Alyssa Milano, the Milano. The ship, the Guardians of the Galaxy ship Milano, named after Alyssa Milano
We
because
didn't-
Peter Quill had a crush on
we
her.
didn't bring up what happened with Heimdall.
Let me get to that.
We never brought that up.
Oh yeah, Heimdall sent the Hulk to Earth as his last will and testament, using the little
Bifrost.
Bifrost power he had left.
Yeah.
And that's what actually starts off this entire movie. But I'll get to that.
Yeah.
I'm just talking the Thor
Well, that
story
was
right
at the
now.
beginning, so
No, but he
Felt like that
summoned
had to
it
be.
on his own.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the coolest part.
Yeah.
But he said something along the lines of like,
Please, old magics, let our dark magics channel through me one last
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, I'll get to that in a second.
And then he was killed.
I'll get to that in a second. I'm just going to get Thor's story. So we see all of the Asgardians get killed by Thanos in front of Thor. Thanos leaves him out in the airlock. Essentially, he meets up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Essentially steals the Milano's escape pod
Him
with
and
Groot
Peter
and Rocket.
get into it, obviously.
Yeah, don't even get me started
They
on that
have
scene.
the-
I actually hated that scene.
They have the masculine pissing contest.
Yeah, I actually hated that scene.
Chris,
that was so Peter though.
It was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, but no.
I'm just like this is supposed to be this. I don't feel like it's supposed to sell the movie. Like Thor is grieving for his people, and he's pissed. and here's this pissing contest that's kind of.
I just don't
And
like.
Phil
I
just doesn't understand that.
personally,
Yeah.
I did not like too like.
I
There
do-
were some scenes where when it was just Peter with his group, Star-Lord with his group, that was fine. But when he was with almost any of the other characters,
He kind of just didn't
he
fit.
Yeah.
he come off as I hate him in this.
Okay, your plan is your plan is a good plan, but it's stupid. So you should let me do the plan. Like, come on, man.
I do
the
like
fate
how
of the universe. Just put your penis away.
Thor assumed Rocket was the captain and was
Yeah.
like, "Come with me, Captain."
That was cool, I guess. But yeah, so they go off to Nidvalar. I'm gonna actually look at the synopsis I have pulled up.
But basically a
Just make
giant
sure, yeah.
forge.
Nidavellir.
Basically-
Nidavellir.
But
Where they find Eitri, who's played by Peter Dinklage.
a giant dwarf.
Who is also the
Oh, God.
largest character in any of the movies that we have so far.
I actually felt like that was like
Yeah.
kind of offensive in its own weird way. But I think Peter Dinklage is cool with it because he's been in situations like this in the past, where like now I'm a fool because so Peter Dinklage is I don't know what the acceptable term is because I know midget is like offensive now. I think.
Is dwarf?
I don't know.
Because it's
I
called
don't know.
dwarfism.
I don't want to be offensive to anybody.
Yeah.
He's roughly about 4 feet tall.
No, he's not a tall person. He plays the person in God and I don't
Game of
actually watch
Thrones?
Game of Thrones. Was it the Targaryen?
He's,
Lord Lannister.
yeah, he's a
Carlin
Lannister.
referenced
Yeah.
that throughout the
Carlin's our
movie.
Game of Thrones fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should.
But in this movie, Eitri, the dwarf that forged the Uru hammer Mjolnir, lives on Nidvalar. Apparently, we found out he forged the Infinity Gauntlet,
Yep.
which is one thing I loved. Because in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there's no inkling that the Infinity Stones were meant to be used together.
well, I mean,
So we know that this device was meant to channel their powers together.
and speaking of which, we didn't go over how how the stones came to be in this one, which is basically Big Bang happens. Each, I
There's
guess,
crystallized parts
Yeah,
of the universe.
yeah.
Like-
They've actually talked about that
Didn't
in like
Doctor
4 other
Strange
movies.
explain that part though?
Yeah,
in the
Doctor
movie?
Strange has explained it.
I know, but I'm just recapping as
Yeah. But yeah,
in case
so
people skipped it.
the Infinity Stones are not like supposed to work together in this universe. They're not. I don't want to say not supposed to. They're not referenced as being designed to work together like they are in the comics.
They're very much they're
so-
positioned as
Like you
singular.
hear,
So
there's
anyway-
more than one.
Anyway, our Eitri designs the gauntlet. There's a reference to having designed a weapon for Odin that is the most powerful weapon he's ever designed and can actually possibly summon the Bifrost on its own. He later reveals the mold is for Stormbreaker, which I have an issue with it being Stormbreaker. It shouldn't be called Stormbreaker. It should be called something like Yamjorn. Because Yamjorn is the name of Thor's axe in the mythology and in the comics, because he does have an axe in the comics called Yamjorn. Whereas Stormbreaker brings in... So he's a fan favorite character, but Beta Ray Bill. Beta Ray Bill is a Carbonite. He's an alien that has been proven to be worthy to wield Mjolnir. He fought Thor and won. Stole Mjolnir. Eventually Odin was just like, I like you, kid. Here, you get your own hammer. It's identical to Mjolnir in almost every way. He gives him Stormbreaker. So they created like another lead-in for another hero that there's no evidence of aside from Thor Ragnarok's like heads on the. So there's a reference to Beta Ray Bill in Thor Ragnarok with a big golden tower that has like the Hulk's face on it and like 4 other aliens' face. One of the aliens was a Carbonite that looked kind of like Beta Ray Bill. So there's no reference to this character, so it kind of like felt like a forced reference. But that being said, anyway, I'm getting my nitpicking side here. So they forged Stormbreaker, which requires Thor almost kill himself. And then obviously, as Connor eloquently put it, Thor used quick attack.
Yes.
And took out half of the enemy.
Yeah,
He
once
became-
Thor was there, they were not winning that
Hey,
fight without
he
Thanos.
became Crispy Freeman.
I don't get that reference.
I don't know either.
But yeah, so yeah, he comes in and without Thanos, the Black Widow was not winning that fight anymore. Like he literally came in doing almost sort of like the spiral lightning thing that he did in Ragnarok. That was cool as all get out. And lightning was everywhere.
But he was doing it stronger.
Yeah.
Because
So
he
we're
had
assuming,
axe.
we're assuming Stormbreaker not only was like Mjolnir and let him focus his powers, but we're assuming it's also an amplifier.
I also liked how Groot made the handle himself.
Yeah, so the hammer's like head was made from, I think it was Uru metal that was boiled down with the heat of the star that Thor reignites.
Took the entire brunt of, by the
Yeah.
way.
I love that though, because like now Stormbreaker feels like it's a part of him as well. because the energy that went into melt the. Anyway,
Yeah.
but then like Groot forms the handle for him, and then Eitri finishes it with that. They hand him the axe.
Eitri didn't touch it again after Groot made the handle.
You see the sparks of lightning.
The axe finished itself and then flew into Thor's hand.
Yeah, and then Thor
that
was
point.
healed from all the from his severe case of sunburn. Anyway, and the Thor story ends basically. He goes in, destroys most of the Black Order by himself, and then Thanos takes an axe to the chest before snapping his fingers, and we all know what happens when he snaps his fingers. So,
that snap also heavily nearly destroyed the gauntlet.
Yeah. We don't know how damaged it is. We just see it's burned. So I don't think they're going to ever be used again.
It wasn't just burned. It was like heavily
ingrained into his flesh,
dented in and everything.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like the axe throw. For the axe throw, it was supposed to be Thor kind of being, as he is arrogant. He's a very arrogant man.
I don't say arrogant, just being vengeful, not thinking about it.
He did kind of want to gloat about it, though.
I love the whole I told you I would kill you.
Yeah, but it's gloating still.
Yeah, it's gloating, but it's fine. So as far as characters, who was your favorite character in the movie, Dylan?
In the movie, I would have to say Hulk because we saw a different side of him.
He just didn't want to come out at all.
So
He had
Thanos beats the crap out of him,
issues.
and you keep seeing Bruce Banner, who I forgot even to mention. The only reason the heroes had a heads up on what was going on is because Bruce Banner crashed into Stephen Strange's sanctum. And Doctor Strange went and recruited Tony Stark, and not Captain America. I don't know why, because he easily could have teleported there instead of needing the phone call for dramatic tension.
He didn't know where Captain was.
He's magic! So, Hulk, and we see him get his butt kicked by Thanos. Obviously, we've talked about this. The whole rest of the movie, we see the other side of the Hulk where he's literally just a child. He's basically a child with muscles bigger than his brain. And he's scared of Thanos, so he doesn't want to come out. He actually, no! And Banner's like, okay, bud, we got some talking to do.
Having performance issues.
Yeah.
As Tony said.
So who's your favorite character in the movie?
You know him, you love him. It's the big purple dinosaur.
Thanos. Yeah. Which I want to get to Thanos, because I actually want to discuss him a little bit.
He's an interesting character in this.
Yeah.
He's a lot more than just the big nefarious.
Yeah. So who's your favorite character, Con?
Of course, Spider-Man. Because
But he didn't want to go.
just said no.
He went.
I just always loved Spider-Man, but he was also one of my favorite characters when I was a kid, so...
Yeah. So, my favorite character in the
I did
movie...
memorize the entire song.
It goes back and forth. My main favorite character, and this has been, my favorite character, but it's Tony Stark. Tony Stark is my favorite character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's no secret. He's basically the main character of the Cinematic Universe. He was the movie, Iron Man 1 was the movie they built this entire universe off of.
Him and his ego.
But he grows. He's one of the few characters with distinctive growth. And then, obviously, Barney, the big purple dinosaur.
I love both
Thanos.
Spider-Man and Bucky. Those were my favorites.
And they're dead.
I just wanted to see Clint.
But Clint's nowhere to be found.